Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new video from my little homestead here in central Portugal. It's a beautiful day, but there is a bit of a nip in the air, so I'm wearing my favorite footwear attire for now. And today we're gonna get back to the door and hopefully do something fun, artistic, experimental. I'm gonna try to make a window frame for the interior of my door. I have a rough idea. I think it's going to be really fun. I hope it looks cool at the end of it. Really have no idea. But to accomplish this goal, I'm going to be busting out my router, which is a tool that I bought 2 years ago, and the thing hasn't left the box. I've been kind of intimidated by it. And so today I'm going to get it out, I'm going to practice with it, and then I'm going to design a window frame and hopefully make one. So let's see how we go. Before I do any of that though, I'm going to go plant the sunflower toddlers. They're too big for their pots, and then we'll get started on some experimental window frame making with a router. Good morning. It's hot already. Can't believe it. What is it? Mid-April. The socks are definitely coming off. The sunshine is glorious, but yeah, already brutal. I think it's only 10 in the morning, and mid-April, like I said, very, very hot already. So I always try to do companion planting as much as I can, and the internet tells me that sunflowers and peppers go well together. So I'm gonna stick the sunflowers in this bed. I'm basically just gonna concentrate on filling this bed up with whatever's ready. I don't want to be expanding too much around the garden. I could use the bed by the entrance, but I really don't want to fill anything up until I have irrigation set up. And I have some experiments in irrigation coming up. I'm gonna try a few different things and report back for how they work, but I spent loads of time watering my garden last year, and I really, really would love to take that time back by having irrigation. So that's coming soon, but for the moment, rather than having to spread the watering around, I want to keep everything in this one bed, and I'll be trying to sort out the irrigation in the coming couple of weeks. So that's why these sunflowers are going in with the peppers. Plus I also need the pots that the sunflowers are in so I can transplant some more tomatoes. So let's get these planted and then move on to some carpentry. Five sunflowers in the ground, job done. Let's move on to the carpentry, get this router out of its box, and see if I can figure the thing out. It's happening. I'm gonna take the router out of the box and finally use this thing. I bought it about 2 years ago. I've taken it out of the box one time, couldn't figure it out, didn't have the energy to try. And since then, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about routers. Well, this router specifically, and it doesn't seem so tough. So I'm just gonna do what they do on YouTube, try to follow the instructions, and then I'm gonna see about routering some of this piece of wood that's acting as my workbench at the moment, see if I can practice a bit on this, and then we'll start working on hopefully a really cool artistic window frame for the inside of my door. This, I think, is to keep things lined up. I'm not going to use that just now. I'll need these, and I'll need these. And I also have these things. I love this. I think it looks so cool. I have no idea what any of these do, but they look pretty sexy there in their little box, don't they? Don't know what these are, so they can stay in the bag. More videos required. I'll be back in a moment. So it always seems to happen to me that I'll get a tool and everything should be pretty straightforward, but there's something that just doesn't seem to work for me. I'll look it up online and there's no mention of whatever this weirdness is. It's happening again, guys. It's happening again. So the router has this thing in it already. It's quite narrow. It's too small for this thing to fit into it. And when I look at all the tutorial things, this isn't mentioned. This little piece isn't even in there, and I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if I bought a whole bunch of router bits that are too big for this machine. I truly don't know, but this thing over here looks familiar. This looks like something I've seen in a different video, and it looks like it could be the right size to go in this. So I'm gonna take this out, which with my scissors method, it comes out. And let's drop this guy in. Well, let's not drop it in. Yeah, let's drop it in. Let's see what happens. Okay. 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 That seems about right. I guess that other piece is maybe for different size bits, if they exist. I don't know. So I feel like I'm on the right track, but I am gonna go consult the video once again, just to make sure I put that piece in the right way and to see what the next step is. Okay, video watched. I think I'm on the right track. I have a feeling I'm going to be hopping in and out of the house as I proceed with this, just to make sure I'm doing things okay, but I think I have the next step, so let's give it a try. Okay, it goes in there. This guy goes on here. This guy goes, loosen it up, goes in there. And then, I don't know, I guess I bring it up a bit. And then, so tighten it. This guy locks it in place. And that's when I bust out this guy. So it looks like this thing, just the depth, and then you would lock it into place. So, don't know. I don't know what I want. Just don't know what I want. Okay. Don't know what this does. This doesn't seem like it's in the center. Should it be in the center? Oh no, that's in the center. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Let's give it a try. And so I chose this bit here because it's got the little rolly thing on it, which acts as, from what I can understand, acts as a guide against the wood so that it's not going to be like wandering all over the place. I guess the bits that have the rolly thing on it, which there's quite a few here, they're designed just to shape the section of wood that they're going along, and the wheel is there to keep it all nicely in line, whereas the ones without the wheel on it, they can just go willy-nilly into the wood wherever they desire. So I'm going to try to start with the one with the wheel. It just seems like a safer bet. So let's stick a battery in this guy and give it a go. So I'm going fairly shallow with the cut just so there's not as much resistance in case this thing wants to fly around on me, since it's my first time. It's a bunch of different speeds. Let's start at 2. Seems a bit more chilled. All right, here we go. This cut is so ridiculously small as to kind of be pointless. So I definitely didn't get a lot of resistance from the wood, but it was a nice start to getting a feel for the tool. I am going to dive into the box of router bits though, because there's all kinds of fun and games in here, and see what else can be done. Router skill unlocked. Well, maybe not unlocked. I've literally shaved off a tiny piece of wood with the router, so I haven't exactly done a lot with the thing, but I've changed the bit, I've turned it on and off, I've got it out of the box, and I feel excited to try some different things as well. I'm gonna save that for tomorrow though, because I'm heading to my friend's place now to get more straw, and then this afternoon I'm just gonna plow through some more stuff in the garden, and then later on tonight I'm meeting a bunch of friends out for a fado concert, so that should be interesting. The frogs are into it, they're on board. I've never been to a fado concert. It's a totally Portuguese type of music, and I'm quite curious to see what it is. It's just up in the village next to here, so should be a fun night, and I'll bring you guys along for the ride as well. Cleaning my car is going to suck, but totally worth it because I don't know if I've mentioned before, I love straw. What are your opinions on straw? What's in there? Oh. I don't know. Don't know if you should be going in there. I mean, it looks cozy. Alright, you do you, man. You do you. What is your plan? What is your plan now? Reverse? Do you need help? Go on. There you go. Almost there. Almost there. I made a terrible mistake. Not gonna do that again, are you? Road to nowhere. Now you're all dirty. All right, I'm very happy with this. I'm gonna go stick some in the garden. All right, I'm gonna get some stuff done in the garden, probably involving this glorious, glorious straw, and then I'll see you later tonight from the fado concert. Since filming inside the concert proved to be quite difficult, I'm going to give you a few very crappy shots of inside, and then we're going to go to my friend's Airbnb, Quinta de Barraquinha, and look at a whole bunch of pretty flowers. Good morning, everybody. I'm standing in the greenhouse, crammed amongst my pots in an attempt to get out of the wind. Though the skies are clear, it's pretty windy out there, and I wonder if that's what's gonna bring the rain in later on today. It's supposed to chuck it down this evening, and I'm really, really hopeful that it does and that it brings loads and loads of rain. But for the moment, the skies are clear, it's a beautiful day, and I've set up my router workshop again because I feel like I ripped you guys off last time. I did one measly, lousy cut with my router on a piece of wood, and I barely even scratched the surface. So I don't feel like I even really tried the router properly. So today I've got the workshop all set up in front of the house. I've got all of the bits out, and I'm gonna bust out a few of the ones that have the wheels on them and give them a run up and down the side of my little workbench thing. But before I do that, I have to admit that this video is coming a week after the fado concert. I got distracted in my garden last week, made some videos, and really enjoyed having my hands in the soil. Absolutely loved it. But now I'm back out on the workbench working on this window frame for the inside of my door. But that's okay, there's no rush with any of this stuff. Let's go have a play around with this router, and then we'll get started up on trying to make this window frame. So I think I saw this in one of the YouTube videos. For whatever reason, the base that comes with this Makita is too small to use with certain bits. So this one you can see is too wide, the actual base hole, if that's what it's called. But these are Makita brand router bits, so that just seems kind of crappy. I think I can take the plate off and do it that way. I'm gonna see if I can manage to take this base plate off and screw it on after I put it back on. Let's give that a try, but it seems really weird to me. Okay, I'm mystified. I don't know if this is just a really horrible design, if it's user error on my part, but obviously I can't get the wrench in there to tighten it because this little base plate thing doesn't go low enough. So if anyone out there knows what the deal is with this, I don't know if it also applies to these other wider bits as well. I'll try another one and see if it works, but I don't know. Any clues, any suggestions, any advice? Definitely welcome. So these all look around the same size, so I'm not even going to try those ones. This one looks a little smaller. Let's try this. So that's better. That's how it should be. And so I realized that I should have been doing all of this adjusting with the battery off, just for safety. However, even though it's not great that I did that, there is an extra safety feature on this where you have to unlock it before you can turn it on. So it would be pretty tricky to turn this thing on by accident. However, I know that's bad. I'm usually in the habit of removing batteries anytime I'm messing around with very sharp blades. Luckily, I didn't have to learn this lesson the hard way, but next time I change the router bit, the battery will come off. All right, let's give it a try. So you can see where it's gone in there, I guess because that's got a little divot. So obviously the wheel is only going to guide me if the thing it's on is straight. So when it hit that, it went in there. But yeah, let's try another one. Actually, instead of the wheel one, let's go with this guy. Generally, you're going to set these up to be used with a guide, so maybe I would put this metal bar along the wood, and then I would run the router against this. But I want to see what it feels like just to go freewheeling into the wood. So let's give that a go. Okay, router test over. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to use it for this window frame, but maybe ideas will come to me as I start work. So let me go up to the mezzanine of doom, get this piece of wood I need, and I'll see if I can figure out how to make some kind of a nice window frame for around the inside of the window on my door. It's dark and scary up here. There's a lot of stuff, but luckily the piece of wood I need is right under this. This is the one. And I see that my fan is buried over there. I'm gonna have to get that out soon because the weather is getting very hot. I don't know how I'm gonna access it, but I'll need to find a way. I've got the piece of wood that I need. I have an idea for what I want to do with it, but it's getting windy out there. I can feel the rain is coming. And because this rain wasn't expected, I have a bunch of preparations to do. First thing is putting the tarp back on the front of my window. I think the window hole could survive a light sprinkling, but it's supposed to rain something like 8 millimeters in a couple of hours. And that's, I think, a downpour, and that's bad for a window that has holes in it. So I'm gonna have to sling the tarp up, do a bunch of things in the garden, and then hide out from the rain. So I'll get back to this tomorrow. This rain is wonderful, desperately needed. I'm so happy to see it, but I'm also very happy that I get to be inside. Good morning, everybody. It's a stunning day out, and I'm excited to get back to work on this window frame of the door. I'm going to start my day by watering all of the plant toddlers. My parents will be here in a couple days, and I'm hoping we can get those into the ground very soon. And then I'm going to set up my makeshift workshop, and I'm going to get the planer out and try to plane this piece of wood to a thickness that I think I can use. And I'm hoping as I do that work, some sort of a plan will formulate in my mind, because at the moment, I don't exactly know what I'm going to do once I actually get the piece of wood to the thickness I need. I have a rough idea, but not a full plan yet. So let's start by giving the plants a little drink, and then we'll get into the woodworking after that. I will admit that perhaps I went a little overboard with the plants. I think I have far too many to be able to find space in the garden for, but I have a friend that wants some, so that's fine. My goal for the next day or two will be to at least make a walking path so I can access the tools and the wood that I need in the back. But for now, let's water. Plants are watered, they look happy. Let's plane some wood. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Okay, I've got work to do. So this is going to be tricky. I have no idea how to make this work. Doesn't help that I'm not really working on a flat surface. But basically, I need to try to flatten this as much as possible. And I also want to get it down to about half the size. So let's just start planing and see what happens. So I have a whole bunch of planing in my future, so I'm going to check back in again when I have a piece of wood I can use and hopefully an idea. I got the job done, and I am definitely 100% aware that this hand planer is not the right tool for the job. I know that a thickness planer is what I need to do this job, and trying to use a hand planer is extremely ridiculous. But a thickness planer requires money to buy a thickness planer. It also requires a place to put it, and it also requires more power. I don't have enough power in my system, so that's a faraway dream. Though I would love a thickness planer tomorrow, I think I should probably prioritize things like washing machines and stuff like that. Well, one washing machine anyway. So I don't know if there's such a thing as flat enough, because I did this all by eye, I'm not using the right tool, and it's looking a little sketchy. So much sawdust. I've taken off quite a bit of thickness, but I've done it kind of by eye, and yeah, you can see that's not really flat. I'm also working on a surface that's not flat. This has been really rather difficult. You know, it's looking a little better across there. I basically am going to cut a circle out and try to bend this thing to my will using clamps. Next step, mark and cut a circle using my Nemesis tool, which I have to admit I'm growing more and more fond of each time I use it, so don't let me down, Jigsaw. This is obviously not precise, but I'm going to aim to cut somewhere around this interior line, and then I'm going to refine everything later on. The outside, I don't exactly know what I'm doing yet, so I'm just going to sort of cut it to a shape. It doesn't have corners, because I know I definitely don't want a square around the window. It'll probably end up being a larger circle, but for the moment, just in case I want to go crazy with sunbeams or who knows what, I'll leave it quite large on the outside. Maybe somebody out there can explain the router to me. I was really hopeful that I could use the router on this project to sort of smooth out the inside circle part of this operation, which I haven't cut yet. So I would cut the circle out with a jigsaw, which would end up being quite rough. I don't really understand how I would smooth that out with the router, which is what I was hoping to do, because a router freehand is chaos. It wants to take you all over the place. That would not be good. That would just destroy everything. And the router with the wheel thing on it would only be good if you have the circle also underneath it to kind of run it along, which I suppose I could somehow rig this thin piece of plastic up to do that, but this is a little bigger than I want. So then we're talking about making jigs, possibly doing it on an actual table router, which I don't have. So I don't really see how the hand router can help me with this project. And therefore, I don't really see how I can make the inner circle nice and smooth and wonderful without hand sandpaper or just carving it with a knife. So anyway, I'm very open to ideas. I'm not going to finish this project up in this video. So if anyone out there has any ideas of how to use a router to get this done, or how to smooth out the inside circle once I get this cut made, please do let me know. Anyway, what I do know how to use is the jigsaw and the drill. And these are the two tools that I'll need to cut this circle. So let's get that done. Okay, jigsaw time. Yeah, so now what? I mean, it's not as rough as I thought it might be, but how might I use a router to tidy up inside this is what I want to know. Maybe it's not the right tool for the job. Who knows? So that cut is just about right on. I went a little larger than I expected. I was hoping for more space for refinement, but I got really lucky. That would have been extremely annoying to have to redo. So I'll just draw some lines on here, and then I can refine it all later on, although I think it is sort of okay the way it is. I just want it to be smoother on the inside, look like more of a circle, not have sawdusty bits everywhere, and I might just have to tack that with some sandpaper. I'm not really sure. And I think I've just decided to go for it. I'm just going to do a circle. I'm not really a sunbeam on a door kind of person, so I'll probably just do a large circle the whole way around, and then I'll figure out the actual size I want later on, but at least it'll give me the shape. I can clamp it on. This is actually thin enough to be able to bend, so flat enough is definitely a thing. I'm very happy with that. This isn't exactly precise, but I think it'll do as a rough cut. Okay, we have a window frame that's larger than I want it to be. Probably. I'll double check. Does anyone have any suggestions for how I can make this nice and smooth? Do I just need to get in there with a carving knife? Sandpaper? Something else? I'm definitely open to suggestions and ideas for how to clean up the inside of this circle thing. Let's go stick it on the door and see how it looks. The light isn't amazing, so it might be hard to sort of see my vision, but I think the thickness of this border is good. I need to figure out what to do with the shutter. I have an idea, and I obviously need to clean everything up. I'm gonna make this a bit more narrow. I don't know how thick though. Trim has to go on the top and the bottom. I'm gonna do the little grate there, do some trim around this, paint the whole thing with linseed oil, and maybe do the trim and the window frame a different color that's darker. And that's my vision. That's my vision for the door. Oh, one more thing. I also have to put the little fuzzy thing along the bottom so that there's no gap there. And I also might try to put some trim kind of going in this gap here. There might be some space to fit some wood in there. I don't really know. I have to experiment. So I'm almost done with the door. I've got a few little artistic touches to figure out, but I'm gonna take a break from the door once again. Though I enjoyed this little revisit back to the work on the door, I have a bunch of other stuff I want to get done. We're definitely going to start the tool shed very soon, the exterior wall of my upper terrace, and most importantly, I'm going to be down in the water tank in the next coming videos, I think. So I'll take a break from the door and I'll finish it up at some point in the future in one final push, one final video. I'm happy with how things are going. I think it looks cool, and I have had ideas come to me finally. So that's it from this video. If you have any questions, comments, just want to say hello. If you're a router master and you have advice for me, please do get in touch in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.